Hey, what is up, everybody? Jason here. Hopefully, this is going a bit late today. Sorry. Today, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be building. Every once in a while, people ask me what actually happens down here in the basement in the JK Brickwork studio. Today, we're going to answer that question. It's going to be very boring. It's going to be very dull. Basically, I'm just going to be building some stuff. Specifically, I'm going to be working on a project that Chris and I have been working on or planning for, almost a year already, actually. So our local club is doing a group project, where a whole bunch of us are going to be building different landmarks of the Ottawa region. And Chris and I will be building the Museum of Nature, which is this beautiful Victorian museum. It was built over 100 years ago. I actually don't have a picture of it for reference, but you'll see what it looks like when we start building it. And we started planning this project, like I said, almost a year ago, and most of that time has just been spent doing little prototype work, figuring out how like certain parts of the windows are going to look. There's like some windows, here's some more windows, here's some more windows. Basically, we've been just trying to figure out how we're going to build certain things. This would be the front entrance. This is kind of the corners of it. Have these, I'm not really sure what they're called, but there's actually the stairwells inside it. So we've been doing a lot of prototyping. We've been doing a lot of ordering of pieces. Here's like a whole bag of masonry bricks, 2x6 plates, corner bricks. Basically ordering a ton of pieces. And so today, so far, actually, I do have a photo of, this is the footprint we currently have right now. We've basically done the foundation. So it's just a little bit over 5 32x32 base plates wide, or long, I guess, and 2.5 32x32 base plates deep or wide, I guess, whatever. Just over 5 by 2.5. So on the left side of this is the east wing, on the right side is the west wing, and the center section is in the middle, obviously. Anyway, the reason I say that is because that's pretty much how we've split the model. So this is the east wing, most of the east wing that I'm working on today. And you can see we've got a few walls built up. I'll actually switch views here. So this is the ground floor. Oh no, my GoPro froze. Everybody loves that. Let's just see if we can get that working again. Yeah. Okay, so we have the ground level windows here. There's basically 4 floors in the museum. So this side's pretty much done, finished, but we still have to do this section here and this section here, building up the walls, and this is where those stairwells go. So today we are just going to be building. As I said, every once in a while people ask me what I do down here all day. And they're like, you should really stream you actually, just doing stuff, like building stuff. And well, this is what people want sometimes. So it'll probably take me a little while to build up all these ones. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how long it takes. I think I might go with this view as I'm building, just so that you can see what's going on. Okay, that was a pretty long intro. What is going on in the chat? Who do we have in here? Brian the Brick. Will Crystal be joining the stream? No, Crystal has a job. She will be working. Well, our Hamburg and Eric are both in the chat. Welcome, welcome, and good morning. Well, Bill is in the chat. Oh, Rezis is back. Brian the Brick. Don't worry, we'll keep you company. It won't be dull. Oh, Philippe Boudoir. We'll be doing sculpture outside of the museum. The sculptures, we probably will build them, but there's a couple things. They're not on the current footprint, but when we display it, we might just put a selection of sculptures, kind of off the grid, like the mammoths, and I believe there's a dinosaur and some other stuff. There's some weird, funky new modern sculptures as well. We also might not do them to the same scale as the museum. We're actually going to mix the scale a bit on this one. You probably can't tell from the images, but it's really like half minifig scale. The museum is actually quite large, and if we were to build at minifig scale, it would be absolutely enormous. So right now, this is pretty much half minifig scale. We'll maybe get a better idea once we start getting to get going. But what we're going to do is we're going to have some removable wall panels. Basically, this wall section here will be removable, and then on the inside we'll have some museum displays. But the museum displays will actually be in minifig scale, so it's going to be like a mix of scales. So it's not going to be super accurate, but because we want to put some minifigs inside, even though the minifigs will be too large for the scale of the exterior of the model, we'll do like a representation of what's inside the museum in here, just so people can see some fun, cool little museum displays. So on the outside for the sculptures, we might do them in minifig scale as well and just set them apart from the model. Okay. Who else is in the chat? Totemo Funding. Hey, how's it going? Lego Man. Hello, Jason and people. How is everybody doing? We are doing great. Chris Frey, greetings. Thanks for streaming. Oh, well, my pleasure. Oh, Resh just looked up some pictures of the museum. This is going to be awesome. Yeah. Hopefully it will be pretty impressive when it's done. Oh, Bill, I'm excited how you motorize this. Actually, it will have some movement inside. Currently inside the main atrium of the museum is the moon. There's a moon inside it, and like large. It's got to be like 40 feet across. And then there's an earth inside the museum. But before they put the earth and the moon in, they used to have a jellyfish in there. So I'm going to be putting the jellyfish I designed probably like a year ago, the one with the tentacles that move, that rotate. I'm going to be putting that in there and having it operating, which will be cool. Oh, AJ Star, Ottawa resident here. Absolutely love this and cannot wait to see the final product. Yeah, I might do a couple more live streams as we go, as we get like closer to the finish. Or as I build up some interesting things. I'm not going to live stream the whole thing because obviously it'll take forever. But we usually work on it now that we have all the pieces and most of the major design elements kind of figured out. We usually work on it, an hour a night or so. Most nights we'll just tinker with it, keep putting stuff together. I guess it is built in modules, yeah. It's basically, there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 modules to it. This is one of them. So as I said, this is most of the east wing. And then actually I have, this is actually the east wing entrance here. And this basically slides together here, which hopefully once we're done the walls, we'll slide this in and see what it looks like. And I've basically designed it that way mostly for ease of transportation, because if it was entirely, well, it would be too heavy to move and too large to move on its own, the completed model. Rezus, will you do instructions for this mock? I want to build it. No. I doubt it. It's so big. Oh, if it's half a minifig scale, we'll use trophy minifigs on the outside. Yeah. Yeah, our plan is to either use the trophy minifigs or the other ones, whatever the microfigs. I don't know what they're called. The trophy minifigs might actually be a little too small, but these minifigs I think are about the right scale. I mean, these aren't very nice looking minifigs. I don't like personally. They're, kind of, yeah, they're very Legoified. At least the trophies actually look like minifigs, which are pretty cool. So I haven't decided exactly which ones we'll use, but I think these will actually be a better scale. VW Bricks. Jeff, how's it going? We're just popping in for a few to see what you're doing. Yeah, we're building buildings. Actually, you'll be able to see this in November, I guess. Bricks in the Six. If you're still in the chat. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be done by then. Actually, hopefully we'll be done in a few months. Resh, most Lego sets aren't really minifig scale anyway, so building in a mix of scale is totally normal. Yeah, it's an interesting point. Original tower or new glass lantern? Yeah, not the original, no. Andrew B. Yeah, actually, the history of this museum is actually quite interesting. The main entrance originally had a large, stone-built tower, but the foundation wasn't basically strong. Well, not just the foundation, but the under layer of the foundation was this clay, and it actually wasn't strong enough to support the full tower, so they had to dismantle half of the tower, the upper section of the tower. And then about 20 years ago, they actually did a major overhaul to the museum, and they put this glass cube on top. So it's like a mix of modern and traditional design. Chris Way, neat looking up pics of the jellyfish from the real one now. Yeah. Do you know Mongolia, the country? Sure. What are you drinking? Oh, yes, the question of the day. Oh, what do I have today? It's red spicy chai tea of some sort. Dragon chai. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to actually start trying to build some of this. What else do I need? I need some 1x1 bricks. I know that much. Or 1x2 bricks. And I already have an idea of how the walls go together because we've already done some, as I've mentioned. Oh, Chris Fay likes those printed board game minifigs, yeah. Maybe the baby minifigs. Yeah, I might do a mix of just small minifigs because obviously there are a lot of different patrons to the museum, children, adults, so the trophy figs might actually be pretty cool to mix in there as well, to be like children, even though they don't necessarily all look the same. And basically the walls of the museum were doing a mix of these masonry bricks and just regular bricks, I guess, just to give it the... it's a pretty standard technique these days to build up some stonework. Brian the Brick, I like trophy figs better. The other ones look a bit weird. Yeah, they do look a bit odd. When we get to decorating it, we'll see what looks best. Obviously, the detailing at the very end will... we don't have to decide that right now. Once we actually have the museum finished, then we'll see what it actually does look like. Yeah, and then we do have these doors here, and actually we actually did draw a line halfway up the windows. I don't know how easy that is to see. It's easier with a white background because the windows do have, I mean, they're paned. They have multiple panes inside them. So we did actually paint a little line across each one of these just to make it more accurate. Actually, that was a whole ordeal in itself. We ended up going with a paint marker, which apparently is a thing. We're not really that experienced artists, so we didn't really know, but tried just like Sharpies. We tried other kinds of markers, but we ended up finding some paint markers, which worked pretty well. Right, and then we have, yeah, these are basically the stairwells. That's it. This is the foundation of the stairwells. And I'll probably make some little shorts about how some of this stuff is assembled, because this is actually pretty complicated to get all the angles well done and the pieces meshed together. So they're all legal connections, brick built components, and then they're just assembled in such a way that these cheese slopes basically mesh perfectly around the corners of this octagon. Which does give a pretty interesting effect, or a nice effect. Ooh, Cookies 5879 is back. Oh, Jeff, VW Bix, woohoo! Can't wait to see it and hang out with you for a bit. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually super happy that Bricks in the Six is an event in Toronto. And usually it happens in the summer, but they've finally moved it, which means Crystal and I could never go because we're always traveling in the summer. But they actually moved it to November this year, which is great because now we can actually attend it, which is pretty cool. So if you happen to be in Toronto in November this year, come check out Bricks in the Six. Crystal and I will be there. At least we're hoping to be there. So all along the side of the museum are these buttresses, I guess. They're added for support. So these are built basically tacked onto the side. So I'm gonna actually make a whole bunch of them because we're gonna need a lot more later on. But actually I'll do, so these are mostly how the walls kind of look, but I'm gonna build up these ones as well. This corner as well. Actually, I guess I'll just leave this like this. You can see. Corners, do you want any builds using 10 bricks or less? I'm trying to be a Lego builder, but I don't have enough bricks. I mean, that's an excellent challenge. I haven't done it in a long time. We used to have, we used to do like 100 brick challenge as well back in the day. You just pick, and I think if you Google it, if you look it up online, there's probably like a recommended, or a few different like recommended sets of 100 parts you can use to kind of seed your build. Someday we'll find out that you drank garden seeds all the time. Yeah. A really angry old man. Does this get repetitive? Yes, very repetitive. For example, these windows, I think we had to put together 200 of these windows, which, as you can imagine, was quite repetitive. Even just drawing the line on them was quite repetitive. And basically 100 of these windows. Maybe like 30 or so of these windows. And there's shorter windows too that go on the third floor. Actually, I just basically these windows, we had to build like 100 of these windows assemblies. So yeah, it does get very repetitive. Unfortunately, that's what you got to do when you build a big model. I mean, the same goes for any of the Lego set. The Eiffel Tower, I'm sure, is extremely repetitive. You know, that's how you get big models with repeating design elements. Fortunately, there's not really any good way around that. A really angry old man. Oh yeah, does this get repetitive? Windows look nice. Oh, thanks, Chris. Andrew B. Oh, there's a YouTube channel that posts a lot of microscale builds and also at least one group on Facebook. Yeah. Yeah, I do follow the group on Facebook. I'm not really on Facebook all that much anymore, but yeah, I do love microscale building. If you've been around my work for a while, you know that I do dabble in microscale every once in a while, and I do enjoy it quite a bit. Oh, cookies! Yesterday the pieces arrived for my sister to build a pooping bunny. It works like a charm. Oh, that's amazing. Glad you like it. Oh man, I had so much fun with that. We brought it home for Easter for our niece to play with as well. And yeah, I mean, she's quite young, like a year and a half. So she basically destroyed it every time she tried to play with it. But, you know, that's it's the joy of Lego. You can just put it back together. Jonk, hello. Angry old man, how long have you been using Lego? A long time, my friend, a long time. Most of my life. Those brown octagonal shapes on the corners are one single piece for the top, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a standard, yeah, this is a standard Lego plate. Aiden's Bricks, nice Lego collection. Thanks. Michelle in Indonesia is night. Yeah, I'm sure we get a lot of people from the other side of the world because it's morning here, so most people are working. Oh, Godfrey Hastings, hello. Welcome. Oh, Dr. Incredibly Evil. Fish Face is back. It's been a while. Welcome. We are building. We're not breaking down walls, we're building walls. Sometimes you gotta build walls. Okay, I'm actually gonna move this a little bit. As we get into this corner, and for this corner, we're just going to, we get to build up a little bit more of a wall here, which is a bit nice. But again, we're doing a mix of regular bricks and masonry bricks. And we'll just kind of randomize it a little bit just to see. Oh, actually, we'll just put a, we'll put a 1x4 there. Tie it all together. Excellent. I obviously didn't get all the pieces I need. Well, so I'll be dipping into the collection every once in a while to go find stuff. The only thing more repetitive is pulling together, putting together a big dots mosaic. Yeah, I could see that. Did you use a template for the windows or did you measure every single window? No, I built a jig. Basically, we built a little jig. I put all the windows in it. Wow, like 6 at a time. And then I used a ruler and I could draw a line. So yeah, I just put a bunch of these, built it into like a Lego frame with some guide pieces, and then stuck a metal ruler across and then drew the line on 6 at a time, basically. Evil Fish Face, opinions on the new sets coming in May? Yeah, I mean, I've only really seen the Star Wars sets. Are there other sets coming in May? I mean, the Interceptor looks okay. It looks fine, I guess. I don't think since I don't buy much Star Wars sets. I mean the pod racer set. I am intrigued by the pod racing set, but I don't know. It is very expensive. I think it would be cool to kind of make the pods move, but we'll see. Brian the Brick, how many pieces will you use? Will it take it apart afterwards? We need a cargo container to store the pieces. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Maybe like 15,000 pieces, plus or minus a lot. It will be quite large. We will probably keep it together for at least a couple years. I'd like to take it to some shows to put it on display. Like I said, we'll be in Toronto putting it on display. We'll probably put it on display in Ottawa and a bunch of places. At a few local events. How many floors does the museum have? There are 4 floors above ground. There's actually 5, I guess, if you include the basement. Basically, like these low windows here, there's like a sunken floor that goes into the ground, and then there's 4 floors above ground. But our interior will probably only do maybe 2 or 3 floors because the scale is going to be different. We'll see. We're not really sure how that's all going to work out yet. Hello, I also wonder, how do you get all those pieces? Do you buy sets and then keep pieces? I mean, mostly for the stuff you see behind me, I'd say most of the sets I personally own have come from, or most of the parts I personally own have come from sets. Yeah. But for this model in particular, we actually ordered a ton of bulk stuff. Just from Lego directly. Or from Bricklink. I've been making a lot of Bricklink orders over the last few months. R. Hamburg, when I pour out new Lego bricks on my table, I'm the happiest person on planet Earth. It's like pouring out a bag of diamonds, yeah. Does anyone know that, or am I just weird? Oh man, I feel you, man. Whenever we get new, whenever a package arrives with Lego in the mail, I'm always itching to open it up and see what's in it. Even though I've ordered it all, so I know what's in it, but there's something very satisfying about getting new parts. Brian the Brick, I'm currently building a small mock with a cave and forest, and I will post it on Lego Ideas soon. Ooh, that's awesome. How can I show it to you? Share it on social media? Send me an email? I don't know. My email's on YouTube. Like, should be able to find it. Okay. We are going to... What are we going to do here? I'm going to build up some wall. Building up some walls. One, two, three. I also have some 1x. I know I have some 1x3 bricks somewhere as well. Actually, I think they might be on the other side of the table. One by 3. And then, yeah, I'm just kind of randomly mixing these masonry bricks and regular bricks just to kind of get an interesting mix to make it look decent. Right, then like this window will go in here. This window will go here. And this window here. Oh, Wintle Cross Homeschool hasn't been here in a while. Welcome back. How will you clean the ink off the windows later, Brian the Brick? We actually did test that. If we ever want to recover them, we can use like polish, not remover, but like polishing products to get rid of it without damaging the plastic, really. I mean, I think who knows if we'll ever need to do that. I don't know if we'll be making another building that requires like 200 windows anytime soon. So they'll probably just stay that way forever, to be honest. Bill, most important question, will you put on stickers? Actually, we might do some decorated pieces. I don't know if we'll get them stickered. We might just get them printed from Million Prints. But yeah, I could see for the interior especially, we might do some, we want to do some museum displays, so we might do some art for that. Brian the Brick, you mean from Pick-a-Brick or Secret Part Ordering Service? A lot of the parts were from lug support or product support through our lug, so I mean, it's not a secret. But I've ordered a lot just from Bricklink and from Pick-a-Brick directly. Because you're super limited in what you can order from lug bulk, basically. What's your favorite set that's coming out this year so far? I mean, I was a big fan of the Orrery, the solar system. It's pretty cool. Although it might not be my favorite set. Actually, the giraffe was really nice, the one we just built. The giraffe might be my favorite so far. It's amazing how quickly the number of pieces for a Moroccan balloon. Yeah, absolutely. How does this section look? Pretty good. Yeah, especially when you do very small detailing. And this model isn't even that bad for that, but yeah, it definitely adds up for sure. Okay, so when we get to here, we will need some larger plates. How do I want to do this? Actually, I think I want this one here. Actually, I do have a way I want to build this up because I need a plate first. Basically, where the wall integrates with the stairwell corners, I have some of the partially finished stairwell corners here. But basically, we're going to do another mesh of cheese slopes on their side here. So this has to be... I do have a plan for this. I have a plan for this. We're going to need like that on its side. Then we'll get some masonry bricks. Actually, I'll get some 1x2 plates. I think I have some somewhere. Yeah, okay. Chat. I also want to open my Lego packages right away, even if I know what's in it. Yeah, absolutely. Any Cata news? No, actually, they've kind of ghosted me for the last month or so, so I don't actually know what's going on with that. Hopefully I'll hear soon. Do I know... is Duolingo in the chat? Is that actually like a Duolingo bot? Do I want to learn Spanish? I think I'm good for now. Deborah Foster is back in the chat. It's been a long time, I believe, since you popped in. Hi from Connecticut. Maybe if you've never been in the chat, I don't even know. So big, lots of detail possible with this footprint. Nice to hang out with you. Cheers. I like the split screen view. Oh, well, thanks. Appreciate that. Okay, also need to know what we're doing here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. The dreaded dropped brick. Can you explain the whole project? I did. You'll have to go back to the start. Ban. Hello, Brian the Brick. I don't really... Oh, like the hole in the UCS TIE Interceptor window. Well, the pilot's not going to have air to breathe. Yeah, I've actually I haven't really taken a super close look at it. Oh, Evil Fish Face, bye. Thanks for popping in. Highly recommend the TIE Interceptor from last year if you want a TIE Interceptor. It's smaller and much easier to display. Oh, yeah. Brian, yeah. Lego vehicles are clearly not intended to be lived in. Okay. So now we need a plate. And then again, we have some of these support buttresses on the side, which we will... Oh, interesting. Okay, plate. I know I bought a lot of these big plates, so I better use them. Okay, 1x2. Did I use all my 1x2s? 1x2 and maybe a 1x3. Let's fill that out. A week today I picked up my new dog. Oh, that's fun. Everybody loves that. Okay, so for these buttresses, I need 4 here, but I do need a ton. So I'm actually just going to build up a lot. We'll probably build like, maybe build like 10 today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'm sure I'll need more than 10, but it'll be a good start. And we'll show you how they work. But yeah, this is definitely part of the repetitive nature of the build, because I think these buttresses 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 13, 16, 32, so there's at least 64 of these, I think, on the main floor. Well, I think there's 32 on each of the bottom 2 floors. So I will probably need to make some more. We've already made some, but I should have just made like all the ones I needed right away. But sometimes you gotta like distribute work a little bit. If you just do the same one thing in its entirety, it can be pretty mind-numbing. So sometimes it's better to split up the work a little bit. Oh, our Hamburg will have mine for a year next month. Wow, a year already. I remember when you actually just got that dog. That's cool. How's weather in Ottawa? It has not been very pleasant the last couple days, to be honest. It's raining. April showers, as they say. And it's still raining today. Just kind of... It's been raining the last few days. Kind of chilly. Not really fun weather to go outside. 1x6 tiles. Okay, I need to get a few more pieces from the other side of the table. some tiles. Each one of these gets a 1x6 tile. And they also get these little dark tan caps. So basically this is the ground floor buttress. And it just snaps on the side like that. So you get this support that runs up the side of the building. And this is repeated throughout the model. So there's two here. I guess the nice thing about building these, architectural models is once you've, I mean, it is kind of dull to repetitively put things together, but it does mean that you can quickly build a large model just by repeating elements. So it's a lot less design work for a large model. Once you get all the core design elements settled, it's just a matter of assembly. And then you can get some pretty impressive, I mean, I don't think anybody denies that like the Eiffel Tower is a very impressive looking Lego model. It's just kind of a slog to build. But it does look pretty awesome at the end. Eric, what do you think of the Artemis Space Launch System set? Yeah, I mean, I think it looks cool. It's really hard to tell exactly how big it is just from the photos, so we'll see. I mean, yeah, I'd be really curious to see what kind of mocks people make using it, like combining two of them to make a launch tower for like the Saturn V or even the NASA, the latest or the last space shuttle. Like I'm sure there'll be some mocks that people put together combining it to make other launch towers for other spaceships. Brian the Brick, also you have to build almost completely the same wings 4 times for the UCS one. Yeah. It is also super big. The smaller Time Interceptor is fun, but if it gets bigger, I'll probably rage quit. A really angry old man. How long does an average Lego model take you to make? I mean, average, man. I mean, it varies so much. Average, maybe like a few weeks. I don't know. Okay, we're going to go back to the side/front, I guess. Actually, let's just... It's a bit of a pain to move this. So, okay, so we also need to build up. So we're actually going to do the top layer of this wall as well, which includes... So we need another layer of plates. 1, 2, 3, 4. So actually a 10 by 10. We'll go here. And then these actually have, there's kind of like a decorative panel above each one of these wide windows on the bottom 2 floors. So for that, actually we'll add the decorations later, but for now I'm just putting a few headlight bricks. Because that is what we're going to build. I mean, it's only a 1x4 plate essentially worth of decoration, so it's not going to be that elaborate. But the real building has actually each one of these decorative panels throughout the building is like a different sculpted like animal or some like nature. I think they're mostly animals, animal heads and such. There's like a variety of different animals. Obviously it's too small a scale for us to do that, but we'll probably just assemble some, 1x1 tiles, 1x1 corner tiles in different orientations just to get a little variety in what it actually looks like. But we haven't really finalized all of that yet, so we'll see how that goes. And then above these narrow windows, it's actually just regular masonry. So we will do that. Oh, actually, but this, I think, needs to be, yeah, that's got to be, well, what's on the one? I believe that is correct. I got to make sure the spacing on this is right. Yeah. Okay. That is like so. Oh, hello, Brick. Hello, welcome to chat. Building a mini blocks set these days in the style of the old fishing store. Oh, interesting. When you return to normal sized Lego bricks, it's like building Duplo. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, the small blocks, like the nano blocks and such, they're pretty cool. Oh, actually, I think I should... Oh, I need to put another plate, actually, on this first. I need some 2x4 plates. Might have to dip into overflow bricks. I need 10 2x4s. Bag of 10 2x4s. One by two. Okay, now we can how does that look? That looks okay. And then on top of this, we will have another set of plates. All tied together. Excellent. Actually, I'm going to change these so that the seams overlap. So get some extra strength. Looks okay. And then I might put some of these to bridge the gap. All right. So basically, yeah, this wall is first level is almost done, and then there's actually this metal kind of railing edge that runs along the whole between each floor, basically. And we're using dark gray for that. Oh, actually, I did mess that up a little bit. I actually want another piece there. Nika, I think the new Star Wars sets and generally sets have become bigger and more expensive. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. They're definitely putting out a lot of larger sets these days. But people buy them. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily, I guess, a bad thing. I mean, it's a bad thing if you want to buy them all and can't afford it, but you know, if they're only doing, for example, like the Dungeons and Dragons set, if they're only doing one set, they want to make it like a premium set so that the people that are really into Dungeons and Dragons, you know, can buy a really awesome set. One, two, three. Actually, I'm going to change this for 2x6 plates. And then a 1x2 plate. Right. So now I can continue on these metal rails on this level. Okay, and that's pretty good. And then we got to build this up a little bit. Let's to continue it here as well. So I got my 2 plates. And we'll do some masonry bricks. And actually here I might leave this open because I think we're going to let's go to like this view. Basically, to strengthen everything together, I'm going to join these walls across the top just to frame everything up super solidly. Because right now, like these walls are a little bit wobbly. You can see they're not like super solid at the top. So I want to actually connect them all the way to the back here. So I might just leave the top of this for now because I'm going to need to build some stuff in there. Okay, so we are going to rotate now. We'll go back to this side. And we're basically going to... Yeah, you can see how wobbly it is, even just building this up. But it'll get solidly put together once we get it all finished. Well, all finished. Once we finish this section of ground level windows. Then we have all kinds of other ground level windows to do. But today we're just going to focus on this east wing, ground level building, ground level walls. Brian the Brick, the launch part looks gigantic, but only 3601 pieces. Yeah, for the new Artemis launch tower. Yeah, I was actually surprised how few pieces it has in it. But obviously we only have one photo that somebody took in the airport of the box, so I'm sure once Lego releases the actual, promotional pictures, we'll have a better look at how it's actually put together. What's your favorite video you have ever made? Wow, really angry old man. Probably one of the fun little joke videos Crystal and I made back in the day. The attack of the flying elephant or the particle accelerator. Oh my god, it's so bad when you go back to those videos. But oh my god, or the icing machine, the cookie icing machine. It's so much fun making those videos. So yeah, probably one of those. Rohan, hey, first time watching your stream. Oh, cheers, thanks. You are in for some relaxing Lego building. Hopefully relaxing. As I assemble this wall. As I mentioned at the beginning, people occasionally ask me to stream just what I would normally do during the day, and this is pretty much it. I mean, lately anyway. I usually don't build models this large. So usually assembly doesn't take that long, but for this model it's going to be probably, I don't know, hundreds of hours of assembly because it's so large. Maybe not hundreds, but probably like 100. I'm sure Kristen and I have already put in, like, between the two of us, 10 hours of assembly. And we've only got the foundation finished. And some walls, we obviously did this wall already. But this wall, just building these two wall sections, it's probably going to take me an hour. Of course, I'm chatting at the time, so that does make it take longer. But still, it's not a lot of assembly finished in that amount of time, so this gap here is where the east entrance block is going to go. I briefly showed that earlier in the stream, but here it is again for anybody that's showing up later. So this entrance block module will basically just... Actually, I can probably just put it in here now. And the reason I made it modular is just for transportation's sake. Yeah. So basically it just sits there so we can get an idea of what it looks like. Yeah, which I think will look pretty cool. But actually, I'm going to take it out just so it's not in the way. And yeah, these are a little bit wobbly at the moment, but again, they'll all be tied in together when it's finished. Okay, here we're gonna switch views. So now I'm gonna tie in, actually, so this wobbly wall, I'm actually gonna tie it in here. And how are we going to do that? We are going to, let's put like a long brick here. Maybe a 2x4 on this side. And then we're going to need some longer plates. I think this is 1x12, 13, 14, 15. So probably 2x14. And these definitely don't need to be the same color. So I'm just gonna go, yeah, dark gray. So now you can see how much more solid it already is just by we'll just mesh that all together. Yeah, so we got like super solid. And we will do the same thing on this side too, actually. I guess you can't see that as well. Oh, my table's not flat right there. But basically we're also gonna join this side as well. Just chuck those in, but I'll need them back. And actually these 2x12s will fit in there. I have a lot of these 2x12s in tan, so might as well use them. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so now this, yeah, super solid, much more solid than it was. So yeah, we have these cross bracings now. So everything, so now it's a much more solid model and actually like pick it up quite well. which is nice. It'll be nice and sturdy for transportation purposes, which is very, very good. Then we'll need another one of these. Okay. These are coming together. Well, really angry old man, really have to go. Have a good day. Cheers. Thanks. Have a good day as well. Probably already gone. Oh, Hank Tankers. Oh, way behind the chat. Well, actually, not that bad. Far behind. David is in the chat. Hey, what's up, man? Cheers. Hank Tankers. Hey, Jason, looking pretty awesome already. And, geez, you have over 2 million subs now. Yeah. I mean, sadly, the subs don't really mean much these days, but it's mostly just people liking my shorts, which is cool, but definitely doesn't have the same meaning as it did maybe like 10 years ago, but I appreciate them all. Our Hamburg, the museum building was built from 1905 to 1912. Yeah. Astonishing what people were capable of while the industrial age was at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty impressive, very impressive. Yeah, engineering feat for the time. Like, man, just kind of blows my mind what people were capable of back in the day. Okay, this model is coming along. Oh, bless me. Allergies are oh, just to say that, allergies are acting up. Spring is in the air. Oh, David Hedges is back. How do you plan the build? Oh, Eric, hello from Germany. Cheers. How do you plan the build? This build was mostly, I mean, a lot of looking at photos and looking at satellite imagery, looking at the floor plan to kind of get an idea of the scale. Then we did a lot of prototyping of sections just to figure out how we would want to build it. I showed a few of them off in the beginning, but okay, now we need some more buttresses. Yeah, so these buttresses tie in as usual, and then we need the door rails on the top again. These metal door rails, which represent, yeah, that kind of metal. I'm not really sure. I think it's just mostly decorative, but oops. Clearly that needs to be firmed up in the back here. I mean, once the east wing entrance is put in place, that won't be an issue. But I'll also tie it together one plate back here. Brian the Brick, the Artemis Launchpad is tiny compared to the supersized Tim Minion. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting April Fool's Day build. Brian the Brick, yeah, I have a channel too, but only my shorts perform really well. Yeah. I mean, that's just the way of it these days, apparently. Shorts do get a lot of views. I mean, which is cool. I don't mind it so much. I mean, mostly I just build Lego to entertain people, give them something cool to look at, so that's fine with me. Okay, I need some 1x8 plates. Basically, I'm going to put a row of... Well, I should finish off this side now that we've put this cross bracing in. I can finish the top layer of the back wall. I believe I need a 2x10 plate. Yeah. Oh, actually 2, 4, 6. 2, 4. Actually, we're going to... Let's put a 2x6 in there. And then some door rails. Hank, will you ever visit the Netherlands? I can't say it's like super high on my list. What are we doing here? Yeah, we'll go this way. Never say never, though. Is this a mock or a set? This is a mock. We are building the Museum of Nature in Ottawa. Man, I'm running really low on old dark gray or new dark gray jumper plates. Who knew? 2x3. And 1x3. Okay, excellent. That's good for now, I think. Looks pretty good. So yeah, where these corners go in here, as you can see right now, there's like a gap here between the wall and this corner of the stairwell. So we actually need to build up a little thing for that to fit in there. And I have a plan for that. Basically, it's a 1x8 plate, a bunch of headlight bricks on it. Oh, Nathan James Ang. I've always wanted to have the National Museum of History, but I am too poor. Yeah, common problem. Are you doing the original building or the current with the glass block above the entrance? I am doing the modern version of it with the glass block. Dr. Random, I hate the way YouTube Shorts has, or YouTube has YouTube Shorts set up. Brian the Brick, almost 2/3 of my views come from shorts, but I have some viral videos from time to time. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing 99% of my views come from shorts these days. My long form video, although, I mean, I haven't actually posted a long form video in so long. So it's not surprising, but, okay, and now I need some cheese slopes. So basically we have, this gap here. I don't know which way is, I'll go this way. So basically have this gap here. And if I stick this in here, like so, I just need some cheese slopes, which are somewhere. Oh, there they are. I basically have like so many containers floating around of different pieces. It's It's hard to keep track of where they all are. Okay. And then I put them aside and I forget where I put them. But basically, step one is I need to stick this on here, which we'll compress that in at some point in the future. But basically, we just need to stick this on here. Actually, I'm just going to stick it one stud high just to show you how it looks. But yeah, so basically it's going to look like that, and we get a nice filled in line there for the gap. It's not complete because I actually have to like connect this in, and this isn't done yet and that's not done yet, so we'll do the final assembly of that later. But basically these walls are pretty much finished. Actually, I do need 2 more of these gap fillers, so I'm just going to do those right now as well. Jonathan Ivory, what is the building? The building is the Ottawa Museum of Nature. Brian the Brick, I don't think there's a set this big, but I would buy it if there is. Then I would have to buy a new house. I mean, I don't know if you appreciate how expensive this might be. Man, even just making the instructions for it would be very time consuming. I guess, you know, it's I guess there are expensive Lego sets, but I would guess, you know, this has already cost us probably over $2,000 in parts, and I'm sure there will be more. Okay, I need 1 more of those. I need another 1x8 plate. Ladder, I don't remember why I started subscribing to you, but I'm glad I did. Oh, cheers. Thanks so much. Dr. Rana, how big is the base of this going to be? I did mention at the beginning, we do have the footprint done. Basically, that's the footprint there. That's the foundation when it's all together. Obviously, that was taken probably like a week ago, when we just had the foundation done before we started building the first floor walls. And so it is just over 5 32 by 32 base plates wide. So it's 168 studs wide, or long, the longest dimension, and 80 studs wide. So basically 160 by 80 studs. So it's pretty big. Somebody can do the conversion of that to so basically this one will go here, and this one will go here. I'll put those on backwards. It's a common problem. It happens all the time. I put the cheese slopes on the wrong way, and then I have to redo them. How big is the base? I assume bulk buying the parts is a lot cheaper, though. Yeah, I mean, for sure, I definitely try and get the best deal I can on the parts through whatever Bricklink stores. Even Bricks and Pieces or online Pick-a-Bricks. Pick-a-Brick isn't too bad these days for some parts. This type of building is what I enjoy watching and seeing, but not a lot of people do it. Yeah, I see. Well, I appreciate that. I'll probably do a few more live streams of this as we get closer to the, or as we do more parts of it. But basically, okay, so actually I think I'm done the walls. I'm going to get the front section again. Or side, I guess technically it's the side section of the museum. It's the east wing entrance. So that is how, and for connecting all these together, these modules, I just have a few Technic bricks with axles basically, and these are axles with stops, so these axles can't be pulled out or pushed in. And I actually could put another axle in each of these. I basically have a few sections with 2 axle holes, but for now I'm just using 1 axle because it actually is a bit hard to, when I have both axles in, it's a bit hard to pull in and out. So for now, when I'm assembling and disassembling a lot, I just have 1 axle there to line it up. Yeah, so anyway, this is basically the first floor of the east entrance. So yeah, it'll be 4 stories. Although the upper 2 stories are a bit smaller than the bottom 2. And then this section here, actually I do have the wall panel for that. I'll go get it. Actually, it isn't complete, but basically this wall panel is going to slide in here. And again, yeah, it's only the first 2 floors. And then the upper 2 floors are still need to be built. But basically this whole wall panel will just be removable. So it'll just basically slide in and out. Oh yeah, I'm actually missing some supports there. Anyway, it'll be a bit more solid when it's finished. But this whole wall panel will slide out, and then we're going to have some interior museum displays in the middle here. But this gives you an idea of how the first 2 stories are going to be. Oh, and like I mentioned, these panels here above the windows do have like decorative bits on them. So we haven't really finalized how we're going to do that yet. We might actually print some pieces too, I don't know. But we might just use a mix of different tiles, as I mentioned. Dave Hedges, the foundation curved and looks good. Brian the Brick, the Eiffel Tower is 630 USD and has 10,000 pieces. Yeah, so this is only going to be 1,000 USD, yeah. Yeah, Unfortunately, I'm guessing there's a lot of larger pieces in this museum than the Eiffel Tower, so I don't think that translation works super well. Also, this might end up being like 20,000 pieces. I haven't even started planning the roof of this building yet. And there's a lot of like HVAC stuff on top of the roof, as well as like buildings of their own. Like there's rooms up there. So I don't know. We'll see what it ends up. I mean, I'll have no idea how many actual parts are in it, even when I'm done, because I'm not really keeping track. I do have a vague idea of how many pieces are in each like design element, but it's so hard to know exactly how many like infill pieces get used on a regular basis. Not even mentioning the decorations. There's trees on the outside and lamps and all kinds of stuff that'll be added as we get to the finish. Yeah, Arhambu, will you build vegetation of the outside? Yeah, like all this stuff. I mean, most of the vegetation around the building it's pretty basic, like tall grass and stuff, but we will probably decorate. This is a fire hydrant, by the way. That's right there on the actual museum. And then we have some of the, I'll actually get it if I can find it. Actually can't find, oh yeah, there it is. We do have some of the like light posts, the lamp posts designed. So I haven't like finalized design yet. That one's a bit taller than this one. I think we'll go with the tall ones. And we actually have some designed. Some of them have like flower baskets on the sides. So we'll probably do something like that for some of them in the summer. And then we have some trees. I think these trees are a little small, but we had these trees kicking around. So we'll put some trees in. Basically, each one of these has a tree in it. Yeah, so I think once all the decorative elements are added, it'll look pretty cool on the outside as well. And yeah, we'll probably put a little more texture on this grass because it is kind of like bushy grass. Spartan, how long does a build like this stay on display before it's torn down and put back into the bins? I mean, this one will probably keep together for at least a couple of years, I think. And then we'll see. I mean, maybe, yeah, I have no idea. We'll see. Andrew, you talked about prototyping and looking at photos when planning. How much do you use Studio when planning? Very good question. I used it a little bit. But for most of, like, this is the front entrance, which will be like off this grid, but it'll be like over here somewhere. But for example, for like prototyping this front entrance, this was all done with real bricks. And actually, I mean, this is the finished version, but there were like a lot of different versions that we went through to get to this point. Unfortunately, they're mostly taken apart now, but it was a pretty long process to get to this. And this isn't even finished, obviously. I have some mismatched colored pieces in here. This is all stained glass, so we'll probably use a mix of different colored transparent bricks in it. There's like a metal kicker at the bottom of the door, so we'll probably use dark gray of these for the bottom plate. I just don't actually have that many. I don't have any. I think I have two. I could only find one, so I have to order some of those. Yeah, so this was all done like in real life. When I originally designed like the basic layout of the floors, I did do some in Studio just to figure out how tall everything needed to be, how many bricks high and how wide it could be, and still kind of look semi-accurate to the museum. Because obviously it's a Lego model, so it's not going to be 100% accurate in terms of every dimension. The windows are probably a little bit too wide here than they are in the real building. But, you know, you can't make windows that are 1.8 studs wide, right? So there's obviously all kinds of sacrifices that need to be made. Same with, these are the upper windows. These are the windows across the top of the building. So it actually took a little while to decide how to do this because there's 3 peaks on the windows. But it's actually pretty complex how these 3 studs are centered into a 4 stud width. So yeah, you know, all of that prototyping was done with real bricks. And that's mostly just because I prefer using real bricks when I'm prototyping stuff. One reason that we don't keep the lampposts on is because they just keep falling off all the time. So those will be added at the very end, obviously. It's really easy to knock them over. The gun pieces on handrails is really clever. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, for those that may not have noticed, basically the hand railings, I actually spent a long time trying to find angled angled guns because these hand railings are angled up as the stairs go up. And for something like this, obviously it's not completely accurate either. I think there's 5 steps in the real building, 4 or 5 steps, but obviously I only have vertical space to put 2, so it's always a trade-off between what you can actually get working versus what's actually in the real thing. It's a very common issue with designing things out of Lego. Yeah. Is it minifig scale? No, not quite. It's like half minifig scale. Did Crystal ever ask you if everything is okay planning that project? I'm not sure quite what you're asking there, but yeah. I mean, she's totally on board. Obviously, I mean, I ask her opinion all the time on stuff, and she designed some of the stuff herself. Like, this is definitely a collaborative effort. Okay, I wondered how you would do the front entrance. That looks good already. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and then there's one other, oh yeah, the windows above the front entrance and on the side of the block, they're actually quite, yeah, there's like panels. There's actually a lot of friction fit in here, to be honest. And it just turns out there's 7 windows, and it's in like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stud space. And there just happens to be 6 panels in the middle, which takes up a stud. So, but a lot of these are just friction fit, and when you're building your own mocks, you can do stuff like that. You can kind of like bend the rules a little bit. It's all pretty solid. It fits in there quite well. And once it's all in the framing, it doesn't really pop out at all. But yeah, it's basically some really fancy shenanigans, I guess, like non-standard building techniques, just kind of friction fitting stuff in there. Brian the Brick, have you ever went to the museum in person for reference? Oh yeah, we actually just went last night. Thursday nights, a lot of the Ottawa museums have free admission, so we went last night to look at some of the interior displays. Took a lot of photos because just to kind of figure out what kind of stuff we want to put on the inside of our own displays. Because obviously we can't it's not going to be one-to-one. It's just going to be kind of like a representation of what's in the museum. And probably not everything that's in the museum either. And we actually hold Lego events in there maybe twice a year or so. We do little Lego activities there. So we've been there many times. And I've looked at a lot of like Google Street View images of the museum, Google Earth images, aerial photography, just to try and figure out exactly what the overall dimensions are, and a lot of the design details. So yeah, a lot of looking at reference photos. We'll use Harry Potter trophy figures. Yeah, we're not sold on which figures we'll use yet. I took them out. Where'd they go? Here they are. Yeah, so for example, if we have like this lamppost, it'll be like either kind of these figs. I think the trophy figs, like these figs, are a little bit too small. I think they'd be good for children. But if we look at like the front doors are obviously quite large. Because they're like Victorian era, like big solid wooden doors. But I think these like gaming figs are probably about the right size. I think those are probably an accurately scaled size for the doors. Brian the Brick, I was just using Google Street View to find the fire hydrant. That's awesome. Yeah, there it is. Dave Hedges, I do hope you take the finished model to the museum. Yes, we are definitely planning to. As I said, we do events in the museum every couple of years. So hopefully in the fall we'll do an event in the museum, and I will bring it to display it there. Andrew B. Fancy shenanigans is much better than illegal techniques. I mean, I don't know about them being illegal. They don't stress the brick in any way. And actually, Lego has done friction fit techniques recently even. Actually, I think the Oh, I just built one with the stairs that are friction fit. So yeah, I mean it's definitely not. I don't think it's illegal. I guess they probably wouldn't do something exactly like this because they could fall out. Um, but the stairs in the Disney, I think it's the Aladdin Palace, the micro scale fig one. The stairs are just like kind of wedged in there. Um, our Hamburg, any idea how much you already spent on it? Yeah, I have a vague idea. Probably, I think the original bulk order was like 700 Canadian dollars, and I've made quite a few Bricklink orders since then. I've probably spent maybe $1,500 Canadian on it so far. But I mean that doesn't include. There's definitely a lot of parts in here that are just from my collection. So yeah, probably half the parts we've used so far are just parts I already owned. So obviously that doesn't include those parts. Those bigger figs have really odd dimensions. Yeah, their heads are quite big. Yeah, as I mentioned before, like I'm not really super psyched on the style of these minifigures, but they are the right size. So, but again, like I said, we'll probably use some of these trophy figs because, I mean, there's a lot of children at the museum that go to the museum. Unfortunately, minifigs are just too big. Like this minifig can't even go in this door. So the minifigs are definitely too big. It really is about half minifig scale, which these gaming figs are a good size. I guess the solution is Lego just needs a new mold. They need a new mold, which is like half minifig size, and problem solved. Dave Hedges, innovative, non-standard technique. Yeah. I really feel like baby minifigs would actually work. Oh yeah, baby minifigs. I still don't know where my baby minifig heads are, but they're pretty short. There's the baby minifig. I know I have some somewhere. I don't know where the heck they went. Actually, I just saw them. I just saw one recently, but I don't know exactly where it went. And then, of course, we have Friends. Figs, mini dolls, which are way too tall as well. Brian Rick found the fire hydrant. Also, how are you going to build that big glass section? Yeah, the big glass section, I do have a prototype of that. We haven't decided yet on color, actually, because these light blue ones are just a bit too blue. In reality, the building, it does have a slightly light blue tinge to it, but I think these pieces are too blue. But basically, this will be the cube at the top. But I think we might just go transparent clear instead of transparent blue. And it'll basically, I think it'll be like 3 of these stacked, essentially. Yeah, so the front entrance is basically the door. This door. Then like this window. And then there's this big glass cube stuck on top of it. But we'll get to that. I mean, I might do a live stream when I do the main entrance section as well. So you can see how all this stuff gets integrated together. Or at least the bottom 2 floors anyway. So when I do the final assembly of the front entrance, these windows that go on top. Because this is pretty interesting building techniques. So yeah. How do you lose all their heads, Dr. M? Yeah, I don't know where the heads are. It's a very good question. I mean, they got to be kicking around somewhere. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me where. I do have minifigs parts like scattered throughout this room. Where will you place the museum after build? Do you put it inside a big Lego city or just in exposition on a shelf? I mean, when it's in our house, it'll probably just live in a box or like multiple boxes. I don't think we'll ever put it on display here. At least permanently anyway. Right now I'm building it on a table, which is on the other side of the room. So it's got a dedicated build table for itself, which I guess you can see in... yeah, basically it lives on this table right now, which is basically just big enough to fit it. Normally this table is cluttered with all kinds of parts and stuff. I cleaned it off just so I could take that picture. David Hedges, Google Street Viewing to compare, and you're surprisingly accurate. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I tried to get as close as we could at this scale. Babies' bodies are too big for their heads. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to build for today. So we made some good progress on this wall, which is pretty awesome. I'll probably try and put some shorts together too of certain sections of this. But I may not release them until they're all done, so it might be months before any of them actually get posted. But I think next week I might build a set again, just because... Or I might do another stream of this. Who knows? We'll see. I'll see what I just committed Lego. I smashed that. Yeah. The minifigs are tough. They're made out of plastic. They can take it. But anyway, that's it for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thanks for everybody for joining. For people that popped in, people that stuck around. R. Hamburg and Eric for doing the moderation, as always. And yeah, we'll be doing something next week. I might build the side-loading garbage truck, the Technic garbage truck. I really want to build that, and I haven't built it yet. So I might do that. And yeah, we'll see those of you that want to join next week. Thanks for watching. Keep on building, and we'll see you next week.